So from the above analysis of two goods case in our table, goods X table of marginal utility and goods Y marginal utility table, we can compare it. Suppose goods X, units of goods X and marginal utility of X. First unit case marginal utility is 40, second unit case marginal utility 12, third unit case marginal utility is 10, and fourth unit case marginal utility 8, and fifth unit case marginal utility 6. Because I have already said the total amount is now we have rupees 50 and both the commodities price same. Both commodities price same. That is at the rate of rupees 10. Similarly, units of good Y and marginal utility of Y. First case 12, second case 10, third case 8, fourth case 6, and fifth case 4. That we have drawn that diagram so far that marginal utilities of X and marginal utility of Y is concerned. We will draw that marginal utility curve in one diagram. One, two, three, 4, and 5. First commodities X goods marginal utility is 14 and Y goods marginal utility 12. Suppose you have that 50 rupees and all the 10 rupees coin. 5, 10 rupees coin. You have to spend on both the goods X and goods Y. First 10 rupees, this is the first 10 rupees, this is the second 10 rupees, this is the third 10 rupees, this is the fourth 10 rupees, and this is the fifth 10 rupees. First 10 rupees, either you have to spend on that goods X or you have to spend on that goods Y. How you will decide, it depends on your marginal utility. In which goods case you are getting that more marginal utility, either goods X or goods Y. So in our example, goods X marginal utility 14 and goods Y marginal utility 12. So no doubt 14 is more than 12. That is why the first unit of goods X, that is whenever you are paying that 10 rupees, that first 10 rupees you will spend on that marginal utility of goods X is more. So you will spend on that goods X. Then come to that second goods case. Second 10 rupees coin. So goods Y is marginal utility is 12. If you will spend the marginal utility here 12, and goods X also, if you will purchase that second unit goods, then you will get also marginal utility 12. So with regard to this, you have to consider whether you will purchase that from second unit goods X or first units of goods Y. X, you have spent only that first goods case, first unit of goods X, so you may prefer to that goods Y. So second 10 rupees coin will be spent on that goods Y. And similarly, third unit, here is that second unit goods X he will purchase, then he will get the marginal 12, and here is that 10. So 12 is greater than 10. So 12 marginal unit of X goods is more than the 10 marginal unit of Y. So that the rational consumer will spend on that third unit of 10 rupees on that X goods. Similarly, fourth rupees 10 rupees coin will spend on that here either X or Y, because you have purchased only the two goods, so you may spend here in the fourth, and fifth will be spent on that X goods. So this is that way a rational consumer will spend all these 50 rupees coin accordingly, which way you will get that maximum satisfaction or maximum utility or maximum benefit. We can calculate it. So rational consumer purchase the three goods of X. Goods X, how many goods? Purchase 3. That marginal utility 14 plus 12 plus 10 equal to 36, and from goods Y 12 plus 10 equal to 22. Total goods X plus goods Y equal to 14 plus 12 plus 10 plus 12 plus 10 equal to 58. It means if the rational consumer will purchase that 3 goods from X and 2 goods from Y, then that total utility will be 58. Previously we have already known, if you will spend all that 50 rupees on that X goods, then the total utility was 50, and if you will spend that Y, then that was also less than 50, 40. So if the rational consumer will spend on both the goods X and Y and 3 units from goods X and 2 units from good Y, then he will get the maximum utility 58. You calculate it. Besides these 50 units, first X goods 3 units and second 2 units of that Y goods. If you will spend that only 4 units of goods X, 1 unit goods Y, then it will be less than 58, or 4 goods of X, 4 goods of Y, 1 goods of X, then that will also less than 58, or 3 goods X, 2 goods Y, that will also less than 58. So a rational consumer will spend all these 50 amounts accordingly, that 3 units of goods X and 2 units from good Y, then that total utility will be maximum, otherwise any other circumstance that will be the less than 58. That is the analysis. So it can be explained by one formula, that is marginal utility of X upon price X equal to marginal utility of Y upon price Y. Marginal utility of X upon price X equal to marginal utility of Y upon price Y equal to marginal utility of money. It means marginal utility of X 10 upon 10 equal to marginal utility of Y 10 upon price 10 equal to 1 marginal utility of money. In single commodity case, we are saying that marginal utility of X equal to price X. But in two commodity cases, that will be that marginal utility of X equal to marginal utility of Y. Whenever the price of the both the commodities are same, that is to be called that consumer's equilibrium in case of the two commodities. So this can be plotted in the diagram. This can be plotted in the diagram. One, two, three, four, five. is the goods X. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is measured by goods Y. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 and 16. Y goods case similarly 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 and 16. So first goods case marginal unit is 14, second goods case marginal unit is 12, third unit case marginal unit is 10 and fourth unit case marginal unit is 8 and fifth unit case marginal unit is 6. This is called that marginal unit X. Similarly, first unit case marginal unit is, here is the Y goods 12 and second goods case 10, third goods case 8 and fourth goods case 6 and fifth goods case 4. Read that marginal unit of Y. So this is the point in third unit case, where is that marginal utility of X goods upon price X equal to marginal utility Y upon price Y. Or we may say that marginal utility of X goods equal to marginal utility of Y goods, which is to be called that consumer's equilibrium in case of that two goods. So that is called that consumer's equilibrium. So we can say that is the formula in consumer's equilibrium case two goods, marginal unit of X upon price X equal to marginal unit of Y upon price Y, which is the marginal unit of money. Now the question is, if marginal utility of X is more than marginal utility of Y. Suppose in case of second unit case, this point marginal utility of X goods is greater than marginal utility of Y. So that case, the consumer will purchase that more goods X and Y goods less to reach this equilibrium. Up to that, when the marginal utility of X goods upon price X equal to marginal utility of Y goods upon price Y. If marginal utility of Y is more than that of the marginal utility of X, suppose this points, so it means marginal utility is 12 and this is that 8. In this case, X goods will be reduced and Y goods will be increased till to that marginal utility of X upon price X equal to marginal utility of Y upon price Y. This is called that consumer's equilibrium in case of two commodities. Now it is clear very well. Condition is that marginal utility of X upon price X equal to marginal utility of Y upon price Y. If it is not equal, two conditions. Marginality of x upon price x is greater than marginality of y upon price y, so that the consumers will purchase the more and more x goods and less y goods till to reach the equilibrium conditions. And second condition, if marginality x upon price x is less than marginality of y upon price y, these conditions, at that time we will purchase that more y goods and less x goods till to reach that equilibrium. Marginality of x equal to price x upon marginality x upon price x equal to marginality y upon price y, or marginality of x equal to marginality of y. This is to be called that consumer's equilibrium in case of the two commodities. Thanks to all.